You could ask one question to one person living or no longer with us. What would the question be, and who would you ask?
There's so many people that I can think of, but one in particular would be Mahatma Gandhi. And I would want to find out from Gandhi how he was able to maintain such an open and giving heart and finding peace and peaceful resolutions to everything happening in life. It amazes me when someone can be inundated with so much happening in the world, and still be able to find the goodness in everyone and find ways to create peaceful solutions.
Absolutely. That was a great one. Be the change you want to see in the world.
Welcome to the Eagle Network Podcast, where business networking meets success. Sponsored by Eagle Pest Solutions, your once-a-year pest control solution in Palm Coast, St. Augustine, and Ormond Beach. Safer, better, less intrusive pest control. Got bugs? No one likes bugs. Come soar with us. Call today at 386-445-7414 for a free inspection and quote. That's 386-445-7414. Now here's your host, Brad Ward.
Hey, it's Brad with the Eagle Network Podcast. Today I'm here with a special guest. He's the current president of the Flagler Tiger Bay Club, owner of Jay Scherr Business Consulting, as well as Business Minds Coffee Chat on WNZF every Saturday morning at 8:30 a.m. Great show. And international podcast, Business Minds Coffee Chat. A great friend, a mentor, helped me with leadership, has helped Eagle Pest Solutions. Phenomenal person. Mr. Radio Voice, Jay Scherr. Welcome, Jay.
Well, good morning, Brad. Thank you very much for having me here. I am honored to be one of your guests and also honored to be one of your sponsors.
Absolutely. Yeah, thank you for that as well.
Sure.
And I just want to point out right away, awesome guest, because he brought good vibes shakes for myself and sound engineer Thaddeus.
Hello.
As well as he knows I am into stoicism. So, the Stoic Warrior. Awesome. I can't wait to read it. Thank you very much, Jay.
Yeah, I think you'll enjoy it. I look forward to talking with you more about it. And of course, we always have to start our day with some good vibes and some good nutrition, right?
Absolutely.
Another sponsor of yours.
Absolutely. Mike's a great guy. Mike and Paula, they do great things there. That's
Absolutely.
For sure. That kind of brings up your story. So I know quite a bit about you from our relationship together. Could you talk about your backstory, about where you came from? I know you're a drummer, for example, and what was kind of some mentors or things that happened in your life that got you into business and your business success?
Sure. Well, I'll start off by sharing that if my father were still living, and if he were sitting across from you and you asked him that question, where did Jay come from? He would tell you that he found me under a rock. His joke used to be that he and my mother were walking around one day and they saw me under a rock, and he pulled me out by my nose, which is why my nose is so big. So that was his ongoing joke.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I miss that man. So I'm originally from Richmond, Virginia. I was born and raised there, and I left Richmond when I was about 19, 20 years old. I actually got into my first corporate position when I was living in Richmond.
Okay.
And I just fell in love with corporate life. I had this vision when I was a young child of being in a big office building behind a big desk, wearing a coat and tie, and living that life. I knew nothing about it, but it seemed like it was something that would be of interest.
Oh yeah.
And so when I went to college, I originally went to school. To music school. I mean, music was really what I was planning to do, but then there was the business aspect of it that was really interesting to me. So anyway, I ended up leaving music school because I realized that although I'm a musician, I can play, I enjoy doing all of that, actually the music theory and everything behind the music degree was just not a passion of mine. So went into business and found that first corporate job. And that was really where my first mentor, my first official mentor came from. I would say my dad was certainly my first, but my first business mentor came through that first job. And this man he was an executive with this company I worked for. They're the largest carpet cushion manufacturer in the world. They make foam products for every General Motors vehicle and many other different industries. But so big, very large, privately held company. And so that was really where the mentorship began, where I really began to learn about what business was all about. I started traveling and going to trade shows and wearing a suit every day. Very conservative company at the time. And I just loved it. And it taught me a lot about who I am, how to serve others, and really began to understand what my potential was about. And I learned that through this individual, just sitting down, having good conversations with him, talking about goal setting, thinking about the future, and looking at where I could potentially grow within the organization.
Right.
And so that was really my start getting into the corporate world and how business really entered my sphere.
Gotcha. What pushed you towards Jay Scherr Business Consulting and to make that jump in your career?
Sure. So I spent 32 years in corporate, worked with a lot of clients, helping them build their businesses through the products and services that I was developing, selling, and ultimately, so my last 6 years in corporate, I worked for Warren Buffett, and I decided at the end of my corporate career that it was time to stop working for someone else and start working for myself. I had already helped so many other businesses in helping them be successful through my corporate career. And so I decided it was the right time. So that's what I did. I left corporate, doubled down on myself, invested in my own coaching business. I believed in myself. I knew that I could do it.
Right.
And I started with one client, and this was a client who I had been working with in my corporate position. And when I left, started my own coaching business, the owner of that company came to me and they said, "Hey, look, we're about to open up another location. We need some help with infrastructure, leadership skills, building the team, motivation, incentivizing, so on and so forth. Would you be open to helping us out?" Well, I just started the business and I said, yes,
perfect,
would love to. Right? We already had a trusting relationship. It made a lot of sense. There was some synergies already there. And so I just built the business one client at a time. And once you start to show what you're capable of doing, word starts to spread. And then really it was just a matter of, continuing to invest in building out different areas of the business. And, so now I'm at a point now where really it's, there's, let's say, more of a waiting list, and I have an application process to go through. So I don't work with everyone. I'm very selective on the type of clients that
you might not get in
with today.
Might not get in.
I probably won't. I'm too crazy.
That's okay. A certain level of craziness is good.
Right. Thank goodness.
Those are the people who change the world.
Right. What impact has networking had on you in your business journey?
So it's had a tremendous impact, but I'll share something with you. I'll share a mistake that I made early on. Well, more of a lesson learned. I wouldn't necessarily call it a mistake, but let's say a lesson learned. So in my corporate days, again, 32 years, in corporate. My relationships were all within my industry and within my organization.
Okay.
What I wasn't doing was developing my contacts and cultivating relationships outside of my general sphere of what I do.
Right.
So think about this for a moment. If that's where all your relationships are, if you make a decision to either leave that organization and go into a completely different industry, or you decide to follow the route of entrepreneurship, starting
Right.
your own business, you're really starting from ground zero, because those contacts that you had, if you're not offering a service necessarily that impacts that industry,
Right.
then you really have to build from the beginning again. So
Okay.
the lesson that I learned was to make sure that my reach is further than just the industry that I'm in, if that makes sense to you.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So that was a lesson learned. So starting my own business, I absolutely invested my time and my energy in networking and building relationships, and with an emphasis on relationships.
Right.
So
Okay.
I'll share this with you. Look, in my coaching business, I'm coaching businesses on knowing who their ideal client is. When you're clear on who your ideal client is, you want to make sure that you're in proximity of that type of client as often as possible.
Okay.
What that means is that not every networking opportunity, not every networking group, not every networking event
Right.
is for you. Time is our most valuable, non-renewable resource. So think about that.
Absolutely. Right.
What that means is we have to be efficient and strategic with our time. So knowing that we can't be all things to all people, we need to put ourselves in a place where we're going to be in front of people that we can serve, that we can add value as often as possible. So today, I'm very selective about where I'm investing my time.
Sure.
And where I'm showing up. Because if I'm going to show up somewhere, I want to make sure that I'm adding value to somebody's life, and it's someone that I can actually build a relationship and engage with.
Right. Right. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Yeah. Thank you. I feel like I'm getting business consulting from you right now.
I'll take that hat off. My wife tells me I wear that coaching hat too
Oh,
often.
I got you.
Sorry,
Oh,
honey.
that's funny. Well, thank you, Jay. We're going to take a quick break to hear from our sponsors. We'll be right back. Thank you.
Hello, welcome to Good Vibes Nutrition, where every day is Friday. Good Vibes Nutrition was created to provide an environment of self-improvement through health, happiness, and community. Whether it's to lose weight, build muscle, gain more energy, or make friends, think of Good Vibes Nutrition as your Flagler Center hub for healthy living, personal happiness, and long-lasting relationships through the examples of kindness, encouragement, introductions, and pure love.
This is Jay Scherr. Are you a business owner or entrepreneur trying to figure out how to improve and achieve greater results? If so, I'm speaking to you. I provide the tools, coaching, and accountability you need to gain clarity around your personal and professional goals, remove the excuses holding you back, build the mindset, leadership skills, and proven strategies to grow your business and become the best version of yourself. To learn more or to apply for my coaching services, call 904-236-0431 or visit jayscherbusinessconsulting.com.
All right, we're back with Jay Scherr, Business Minds Coffee Chat, Jay Scherr Consulting. Awesome guest. Thank you again for being here, Jay.
My pleasure.
Mindset. I know you're very big on mindset. You've studied mindset. Can you talk a little bit about mindset and what you do and recommend to our listeners to have that great mindset?
Absolutely. So in my world, and what I've learned through my own experience, our mindset really is everything. It impacts every area of life. It impacts our relationships. It impacts our business. It impacts our personal lives, our professional lives, every aspect of it.
Sure.
So I'm very intentional about working hard to ensure that my mindset is positive, that I am not allowing outside negativity to influence the way that I show up to the world. So what that means is that every day, every morning, I'm feeding my mind with the things that I want to be able to bring to others, right? So first thing in the morning, it may mean journaling. It may mean going to the gym and making sure that I'm staying as active and as fit as possible. It also means that I'm not turning on the news, that I'm deciding what type of information I'm going to read, like the book that you have now in front of you. Right. Those sorts of things. I want to make sure that I am inundating myself with the right stuff, because it's just like nutrition. It is nutrition technically, but it's just like nutrition. What you put into your body, like what you and Thaddeus had this morning, that is going to affect your sleep. It's going to affect your level of activity. It's going to affect your cognitive abilities. And all of those things matter. And because of the work that I do, I'm a performance coach, right? I help businesses and I help individuals perform at a higher level and see better results. You have to look at every area and figure out, okay, if I can help you improve by 2% in one particular area of your business, this is what it's going to take to get there. A big part of that is mindset.
Absolutely. And folks, I want to attest that Jay Scherr, his mindset, every time I'm around him, it's a pleasure, it's motivation, he's got that positive mindset. I'm with you, kind of negative in, negative out, positive in, positive out. Absolutely. Thank you for sharing. You do meditate some too, correct?
I do, yes. The reason that I do that and why I started doing that was because I realized, I didn't know this throughout the early part of my life, but as I begin to learn more about myself, right, we all have that negative self-talk. There isn't one person who is walking around today that doesn't. And for somebody who tells you that they don't, I'm telling you right now, they do. They may not admit it, but they do. So we all have it. So what does that mean? That means that most of our thoughts are negative. Meditation allows me to pay attention to those thoughts, to question them, not to make them go away, but to question them and take moments of time where I can sit there in silence and be able to intentionally say, Jay, now really, you're not that bad, or yes, you can do that, those sorts of things. So it's really helped me get more clear on my own thinking and not letting those negative thoughts derail me keep me from doing the things that I want to do and pushing the boundaries of my comfort zone.
Nice.
I have a question.
Yep.
Host question. I've tried to meditate before. It never works. I either get distracted or I fall asleep. Jay, how do you do it?
Well, first of all, it is called a meditation practice for a reason. There are there's no perfect way of meditating. Sometimes meditating, Thaddeus, could mean walking outside in nature, and as opposed to looking at your phone, or as opposed to being on a phone call or on Facebook or reading a text, it's just being in nature, paying attention to the sounds, the smells, looking at the things that are around you. That is a meditation practice in and of itself. So it's not really about silencing everything. It's more about paying attention. And when you get distracted, start again. It's as simple as that. And people will tell you, well, you need to meditate for 45 minutes or 60 minutes. No, you don't. I may start off with a 30-second meditation or a 1-minute meditation, and then I may start over again. Maybe that's all I can do that day. So it's a practice. That's what it's meant for. Just practice. That's all. Hope that helps.
Great question, Thaddeus. Jay, so what time do you get up in the morning?
Between 4 and 4:15.
He's lazy, folks. He's lazy.
Are you going to ask the other side of that coin what time I go to bed?
What time do you go to bed?
So I get up at 4 to 4:15. I don't use an alarm clock.
Right.
If I'm up past 9 o'clock, there's probably an issue or some event that I'm participating in, something
Okay.
that I
Yeah.
have to be there for
Right.
that.
Right.
But for me, I'm the early bird, and I've got tons of energy first thing in the morning.
Right.
So I use my energy very intentionally. So if I know that I'm a morning person and that my mind is super sharp from, let's say, 5 o'clock until maybe 11 o'clock, take a little bit of a break, and then I'm back at it, those hours are where I'm doing the deepest work, the hardest work.
That's smart.
Right? So when you know those things, you can structure your day and your activities around that so you can be most productive, most efficient, and be able to accomplish the great things that you're capable of accomplishing.
That's great. That's great. I must need a little more sleep than you, because I usually go to bed around 9, but I don't get up till 5 in the morning. So you make me feel a little lazy, maybe. I don't know.
We're all different. So I was blessed to have the sleep doctor on my podcast. The sleep doctor has been, he's on Oprah, Dr. Oz, I mean, you name it, all over the place. And we had a great conversation about sleep patterns. And it's really interesting when you dig into the science of it, right? Because we're all different. So for you to say to me, hey, I don't go, I go to bed at 9 o'clock, but I don't wake up until 5 o'clock. There's a reason for that. There's a biological reason for that.
Right.
And we all need, sleep is the most important thing that we can work on, right? I need to work on my sleep every single day. And it's not always easy. And think about it. Sleep, just like with mindset, it affects everything.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, definitely.
So
definitely.
get more sleep.
Absolutely. 2 quick questions. We're almost out of time.
Okay.
The first one, this is a very serious question. If networking success had a theme song, what would it be? Networking success had a theme song, what would it be?
Wow, that's a great question. And I like how you incorporated music into that. So if it had a
Jay's
theme
the
song,
drummer.
So it really, I'm going to give you the song title. The song title is Give, 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 and then Give More.
That's awesome.
That's the song
That's
title.
awesome. Yeah.
And if you can approach networking with those lyrics, you will be successful. When you approach networking from a place of taking or receiving or, throwing out business cards or walking in with the expectation of always receiving something,
absolutely,
you will not be as successful.
That's for sure.
So give, then give more.
Give. Great advice, folks, for sure. So, Jay, thanks for joining us on the Eagle Network podcast.
Absolutely.
It's been great, as I knew it would. Please reach out to Jay Scherr Business Consulting. If you have questions or you're interested in meeting with Jay, listen to his podcast, Business Minds Coffee Chat, as well as his radio podcast, Business Minds Coffee Chat, every Saturday morning, WNZF 8:30. Great show. For sure, his first guest was decent.
He was very decent.
Which was myself.
Well, we always try to set the bar high.
Is that what it was?
That's what it was.
So we'll see you next time, and make it a great day. Thank you, folks.